terrible truth about a cannibal sect that was active in central Ukraine. The gang's cruel leader is out of prison, trying to portray a victim. You will be shocked to hear who really stood behind the awful crimes. You're watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants solve resonant crimes and various mysterious phenomena. This time, a young woman approached the psychics, asking them for help. Svetlana is asking them to save her from a poltergeist that strangles her at night.
I feel suffocating when I sleep.
Svetlana has always been skeptical about spirits, so after the first episode of strangling, she went to medics. The detailed checkups didn't show any ailments, but the cases of strangling got more frequent.
I put my hand to my throat, trying to understand what is strangling me and why it is doing it. I was at the church. Prayers, candles, holy water. I am asking the psychics to help me because I want to live a normal life.
The project's most powerful psychics, Yaroslava Fedorova and Yana Pasinkova, answered the woman's request.
The picture is the following: a couple holding hands, and there's something above them. It looks like an arch or a portal, and also a head.
A human head?
Yes, it's hovering above them. Apparently it's some kind of deadly ritual.
I had a dream last night. I saw a young woman with a rose bouquet in her hands, and among the roses there were knives. She held the bouquet out to me and said it was all Svetlana's fault.
The clairvoyants are already at the woman's home.
Thank you so much for coming and agreeing to help me. I would like to know what's been strangling me all this time.
Could it be something related to the house?
There's one thing that I find disturbing. Tell me, please, why are you raising the dead from their graves?
What do you mean?
The dead are coming here through this mirror. It's a magic mirror.
Do you practice magic?
I'm even afraid to look into it because it's distorted.
Some kind of spirit visited Svetlana through the mirror. I first thought that she'd summoned it herself. But the card said that Svetlana had never practiced magic. I need to work with the mirror.
Oh!
The door opened.
It's the girl.
I'm afraid.
I saw her in my dream. She was holding a bouquet of roses, among which there were knives. The spirit showed me a horrifying picture.
It's a house. What is this loop?
Search. Search for the hanged man and the red loop. The red loop?
Zhana Shulikova told me. I'm going on an investigation. A mother called me. Her son hung himself on something red in her house. How could this be?
It's unbelievable. It turned out the clairvoyant's colleague, Zhana Shulikova, is in the same town now. She's investigating the strange death of a young man who hung himself in his house.
I am confident an otherworldly force had something to do here.
He says, while I was dying, there was a girl next to me.
What girl?
A dead girl. She told him, help me, do something.
The psychics contacted Zhana Shulikova and decided to work in the house in which the man committed suicide.
We got out of the van, and the spirit of the girl with the bouquet was already waiting for us there. However, that time, she had no head.
Do you know each other?
No.
Can I take the owner and check the yard? Here, the soil is soaked with blood. I see the picture of arms sticking out. They're sticking out of the ground doing like this.
The head. There's a female head there. It's like hunters hanging animals' heads like trophies. The head, the female head. Black hair, not very long, should be reaching shoulders. Fair eyes. It's a young woman.
Svetlana suddenly stuns everyone.
My classmate was murdered. The murder was extremely violent. It was long ago, in 2002.
Was she beheaded?
Yes. She was black-haired, very young, just a girl.
Hold up. Was your classmate in this very yard?
I don't know.
What was her name?
Irina Humarova.
Let's ask the cards. The answer is yes.
Oh, well.
Yana.
The severed head. It's nailed to the door, hanging like this.
And I see arms over here.
My classmate. She was dismembered.
Did your son kill anybody?
No. I've lived here since 2005. No.
Suddenly, Irina's spirit emerged again. She approached Svetlana and said, "I'm sorry. I didn't know how else I could reach out to you. The murderer has been set free. Help me."
At this moment, Svetlana feels sick.
While we were talking about Irina, I had a feeling she was near.
All this time, it has been the deceased Irina who visited her friend to tell her the information about the murderer. She's asking for help.
What did she want from my son? She said the same thing. Help me. Didn't she, Jana?
The murderer was free, and he was very dangerous. We needed to stop him.
Her spirit is telling me, "Go to the place where I died, and I'll show you everything there."
I heard that she was murdered in the windbreak.
As it turned, Ole's mother did know something about the tragedy that had taken place on her house's grounds. The woman said that the murdered girl's head had been found here. However, her body had been found in the windbreak 5 kilometers from the town. The psychics immediately contacted the project's detective. Katerina Malichenko promised to be there as soon as possible.
You stay here because how can we take you with us?
Okay.
Soon, the psychics are in the windbreak, where Irina Humarova's body was found, and they're trying to find the way to the site of the girl's murder using their feelings.
It's somewhere here.
Irina's spirit emerged. She didn't say anything. She simply nodded to let us know we were in the right spot.
The project's detective arrives at the site of the tragedy.
I don't have the case materials yet. I didn't have much time, but I found some articles.
Zhytomyr cannibals, from rumors to truth.
Do you mean Irina was disembodied and eaten?
This is terrible.
All the information from such articles must be carefully verified.
A man and a woman. It's a date. A card of dates.
All the articles indicate that the individual convicted of the murder was a male.
I see someone I want to kill. I see my victim.
Was the murderer standing there?
He's watching. He's hiding behind the bush and watching.
Describe him, please. Do you see the murderer?
It's a young woman.
Wait. Are you trying to say that the murderer was a woman?
Yes.
Does this mean a wrong person was convicted for the murder? Is the true murderer free?
I don't understand why the couple came to the windbreak, but the murderer, the woman, was watching them. It was her who committed the crime. The murderer thought of Irina as her rival who threatened to take away her man.
If if Irina wasn't murdered by the man who's now in prison. We needed to find the real murderer.
One of the drivers must have a map.
Give us a map. Do you have?
We're over here. Where do we need to go? What do we have here?
Psychics pointed to the village, which is located only a few kilometers from the place of Irina's death.
There's going to be a triangle. Some kind of triangle. I don't get it. Many people, they're dead. Lots of people. The dead under the same cross.
A graveyard?
Just a second. A building. People come in there. A cafe.
There's a bridge there.
A graveyard, a cafe, and a bridge. The psychics feel the bloody murderer is supposed to live somewhere here. The clairvoyants resume their search.
I see a green fence and a house of a fair color. It's white.
Open the door, please.
What is this?
What is your name?
Helena.
The murderer's traces brought us here. That woman radiated the same kind of energy that I felt at the site of Irina's murder. The murderer was this woman's relative. We're talking about your daughter.
What can I tell you?
Her husband used to be in charge of this thing. She was a victim of all this.
Nobody could understand what these people were talking about. Why was their daughter a victim? And what was their son-in-law in charge of?
Helena explained that her son-in-law, Volodymyr, was in prison for murdering Irina Humarova. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. But the psychics believe the true murderer is still free. And this is Helena's daughter.
Does this mean Irina was having a date with a married man? And the betrayed wife tracked them down and killed her rival? Then why is Volodymyr the one who is in prison? And why do these people claim that their daughter, Svetlana, is a victim?
Give me her phone number, please.
The woman goes in the house and makes a call. She's talking to Svetlana, her daughter.
Hello. I have a question. Did you kill Irina because you knew Volodymyr was in love with her and would leave you?
I've never killed anybody in my life.
Irina's spirit emerged again. She was standing in tears, repeating the same phrase, that her heart had been eaten. The spirit of this girl, Irina, says, "She ate my flesh." Does this mean Svetlana ate human meat?
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Svetlana, can we meet?
I refuse to meet you or talk to you.
Svetlana, I feel that Irina's spirit is not going to bother you anymore. You see, she haunted you because she wanted to establish contact to ask for help. You did it right. I feel that she's grateful.
Thank you so much.
The project's detective expert has filed an inquiry to the police to receive the case files, and we all were shocked when the reply came.
It turns out that Svetlana has been released from prison recently. She spent 10 years behind the bars. Based on the court's verdict, she was a victim in this case. We found out that she has a child from Vladimir Konovalchuk. Threatening her and her child's lives, Volodymyr forced Svetlana to assist him in committing murders.
So, is Svetlana a victim, as the court ruled? Or is she the murderer, as the psychics feel? A few days later, Svetlana contacted us and agreed to talk to us to have a chance to address her son from the TV screen.
After Svetlana was sentenced to prison, she was deprived of her parental rights. The boy lives in another family and doesn't speak to his mother.
I live my life for him. I can only hope that he at least listens to me. Because I wasn't a bad mother. I did the best I could to protect him from his father.
Did you know Cyrena?
No, all I remember is her long hair, but I can't even recall her face.
And your husband, Vladimir, did he know her?
For a brief period. About 2 months, if not even less.
This is the woman I saw in the woods.
She knew where she was going. She takes some clothes with her and puts them in something. It looks like some bucket. Why would she need the bucket?
To take the head with her.
How did you take Irina's head home?
He had a bag. I felt like I was in a haze, and I didn't even understand what he was doing. All I saw was that he was packing something and then taking it with him.
What the psychics feel doesn't match Svetlana's words. Could they be wrong? Several days later, our expert did obtain the case materials.
Svetlana brought a bucket, a rope, and a change of clothes to the site. In other words, it means the murder had been planned from the very beginning. Svetlana initially knew she would be smeared in blood.
He was planning to demand a ransom. He was going to approach her as a man who was interested in her to win her trust and lure her somewhere to make her father give him all his money. Then he was planning to release her.
According to the files, Volodymyr and Svetlana, armed with pistols, came to Irina's parents and demanded the ransom. But it was after the girl was murdered.
It was a deliberate murder, committed through the devil. A ritual murder. What ransom?
I see this man standing over Irina while she's alive and stabbing her with this knife.
No. I only saw her when she was dead.
This is a lie, an absolute lie.
Both Volodymyr and Svetlana stabbed her in turns. It was established through the crime reenactment and confirmed by the examination.
Ask her why they needed her head and what they did with it.
The scalp was behind the door, in the corner. It hung on a hook, like a wig. But I didn't see the skull. After we were arrested, and the police conducted a search, they found him under the stove. He hid it there.
I have a clear idea, Timsan, of a family at the dinner table. Here is a plate, and on the plate is a heart.
Did you eat Irina's flesh?
You're asking strange questions. I'm really outraged because of the rumors that were spread that it was cannibalism.
The files don't mention the cannibalism. They only state that the body was mutilated.
We found the investigator who was in charge of the case 15 years ago and asked him what the law enforcers meant by stating the body had been mutilated.
They cut the meat off the body and ate it. We also found and confiscated jars that contained preserved human meat. The examination revealed the meat was of a human origin. Remains, human remains.
With this meat, they're trying to show their excellence. Like, we're not simple humans, but we're superhumans.
A little later, we went to the prison where Svetlana served her sentence to find out about her behavior behind the bars.
She had a notion that they were superhumans. She was very aggressive, believing she was a superhuman.
Tell me, how did you get the idea to sever the head? Who suggested it?
I don't know whether it was his idea or he took it from a book. It was a book by Carlos Castaneda. In it, an Indian magician transfers his knowledge to his student. In this book, it is also said that when you kill your enemy and remove his heart, you become stronger. And in his book, the Indians took scalps from skulls. It was all connected with magic.
We seized occult literature. Apart from killing her, they took her skull and made it an occult item.
My hands aren't bloodied.
Her hands are covered in blood, and not only Irina's, there are other victims.
After Irina's murder, did you participate in other attacks?
No, never.
When our detective received a reply to her inquiry about Svetlana Konovalchuk, we were absolutely shocked.
Svetlana was a participant of 17 cases of attacks on people. Look, on the 2nd of June 2002, Svetlana lured a man into a windbreak. Another man was waiting for them there. It wasn't her husband, Volodymyr. The man started beating the victim with a piece of a metal pipe, while Svetlana stabbed him with a bayonet in his ear. The man survived and went to the police. They attacked him, trying to rob him. It happened a week after Irina Humarova's murder.
Volodymyr wasn't even close there. Therefore, he couldn't force the woman to commit violence.
We can't believe this woman's words. She's clearly a manipulator. She's not a victim.
The 18th of November, 2001. This is 8 months before Irina Humarova's murder. Svetlana and her husband and brother attacked a couple to rob them. The people survived. This is what they stated. The men were demanding money while the woman was holding them at the gunpoint. It means Svetlana was holding the gun. She shot the man in the chest, and I don't get it. How could the court rule she was the victim?
The victim that in reality was the leader of the gang, the cold-blooded murderer. Now I see why Irina's spirit was trying to make contact with us so desperately. This person is free, and it's actually her who poses real danger.
We just can't understand it. Thanks to her manipulations, Svetlana received the status of the victim and spent only 10 years in prison for the violent crimes she'd committed. We hope that after our psychic's investigation, the police will revise her case, and this woman will receive the punishment she deserves. If you're also shocked by the story, give it your likes, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The Widow's Street. A mystical force takes away beloved husbands from women. Who awakened the otherworldly killer? And for what sins? In this episode, the psychics will challenge an unknown mystical force that has taken the two closest people of Tetiana Kapitsa from Ukraine. The woman wrote about it in the letter she sent us.
Some evil spirit with mutilated face lives in my house. It has killed my husband and son. I'm next. Help me.
It all started after the family bought the house. Nobody could even think the house would become a deadly trap.
The house was quite old-fashioned, and its price suited us perfectly. We even had some money left to have it renovated.
However, several days after the family moved in, while her daughter was at school and her husband and son were at work, Tetiana saw the silhouette with the mutilated face. It suddenly appeared at the door.
I was standing in front of the mirror applying makeup when I saw a female silhouette. I closed my eyes, but when I opened them, it was gone.
After that, Tetiana's son Victor saw the creepy silhouette in the house. The spirit's face was covered with scars. It disappeared as unexpectedly as it had appeared, and the next day, the young man went to his work at the store and vanished without a trace.
I work at a pension fund. The store he worked at is next door. I knew it was his shift, so I went there, but they told me he was absent.
Friends, relatives, and the police. Everybody searched for Victor, but couldn't find him anywhere. Tetiana thought she would never see her son alive. Nevertheless, 8 months later, he suddenly came home.
He came on August 30th. I was so happy to see him because he was my child.
The 25-year-old man couldn't explain what had happened to him or where he had been. The mother thought Victor had suffered partial memory loss.
I thought he needed to spend some time at the hospital to be all right again.
But the next morning, the mother was informed that her son's heart had stopped all of a sudden.
They called me and said, "We are sorry, but your son is dead." I wanted to tell him how much I loved him. There were many things I wanted to tell him.
Sometime later, Tetiana's husband, an absolutely healthy man, died suddenly.
I went to the kitchen and saw him sitting and trying to stand up. Then he fell and started rasping. It was terrible. And then I realized he was dead.
The man's heart also stopped.
I don't know what to compare this feeling to. I understand he's not here, but I can't believe it. And then Valeria came running. She'd heard it too, and she said, "Mom, call an ambulance." And I wanted to tell her the ambulance wouldn't help.
Not long before his death, the man confessed to his wife that, like their son, he also constantly felt somebody's presence next to him and had seen a shadow of a terrifying man.
He feared. He felt he could die.
The woman is certain that some kind of otherworldly force with the mutilated face has taken her family members, and it was it that turned their home into a horror house.
When I lie in bed at night, and it's dark and quiet in the house, I hear footsteps in the attic. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying.
Tetiana and her daughter have no money to move somewhere else, and people refuse to buy the house in which 2 men died under mysterious circumstances. The woman is afraid that the evil force will take her to the other world next.
If something happens to me, Valeria will have to live in an orphanage. I beg the psychics to help me to sort out what is going on here.
The strongest psychics of the project, Jana Shulakova and Rubina Cybulska, answered the woman's request for help.
I had a very strange dream. There was a great lake, a valley, and a little pathway. My late grandmother was standing on it. She said, "Find the head and stop the death."
I'm going to work with my mirror. A woman kneeled on the ground, holding a young man in her arms. He's holding his hands to his heart and dying. I hear her shout, "He's been killed!" And next to her, I see the silhouette with the mutilated face, holding a wedge.
It sounds like the killing of a vampire. But what connection does it have with Tetiana and her family?
I don't know. But this spirit with the mutilated face is very aggressive and dangerous. Ah! Oh God.
What a terrible thing. The huge chandelier almost killed Rubina Cybulska.
The spirit did it. The one holding the wedge. Look.
We must be very careful today.
The psychics went to Tetiana's. The woman greets the psychics together with her daughter, Valeria. Their friends and neighbors are also here to support them.
Hello? Hello.
Thank you so much for coming. We need your help badly.
Could we please see the yard?
Sure. Come on in.
I see some kind of spirit from the other world go through this gate. It looks like somebody's silhouette. Did you see it?
Yes. The gate opens itself. Some force opens the gate. Say, when I wish to go outside, the door opens.
It's very heavy.
Yes, it's sound. It can't be wind.
And the steps, the noises, and you see somebody walk.
Yes, it did happen. I had a feeling as if someone were breathing behind me, like they were following me. It really happened.
Give me your hand. When I touched Tetiana's hand, I suddenly saw her son's spirit behind her. Your son is standing behind you.
Yes, I feel him. I felt warmth when he put his hand on my shoulder. It was glorious.
He says, "Mom, I miss you too."
Victor, son, I love you and miss you so much.
I asked Victor what was the spirit with the mutilated face that had taken him to the other world and why it had done it. And he showed me a woman. She was hysterically shouting out something, like a curse or something.
Suddenly, Rubina Cybulska started running somewhere.
Rubina, wait.
His spirit entered this gate. People?
There seems to be nobody there. It's locked.
The locals say a woman named Hannah lives here. Tetiana bought the house she lives in from her, and before that, Ole, the neighbor's son, had lived in it. After the man got married, he moved to the town, and his mother sold the house. But why did the spirit bring the psychics here?
Do you know the people who live here?
Yes, we bought the house from them.
I see a man. He's standing at the door and holding his hands to his heart.
Who died here?
Uncle Kolya, the owner.
Is your neighbor a widow, too?
Yes, Aunt Hannah is a widow.
What was the cause of the owner's death?
The heart.
It turned out the neighbor's husband died in 2010. He went to bed at night and never woke up. The doctors concluded that his heart had suddenly stopped.
2 men there, 1 man here, and all because of their hearts.
Could it be connected with the land on which both houses stand?
It's connected to a woman. She's dark-haired and dark-eyed, and she looks like a gypsy.
Ole is Ukrainian, but his wife is a gypsy.
Ole is your neighbor's son, and his wife is a gypsy. Did I get it right?
Yes.
There was something in this family that caused a great scandal.
Well, it was really so, but I don't think I have the right to tell you this.
Off the record, Tetiana confessed that after she bought the house, her neighbor's son left his wife and returned to his parents, while his ex-wife stayed in the town.
It was a great row, and I feel that the situation isn't over yet. There have been offenses and scandals here.
The locals told us that Ole's ex-wife often came to her mother-in-law and her ex-husband's house, shouting and cursing. Did the abandoned woman want to take revenge on him, but didn't know the house had been sold? Did this woman's relatives become accidental victims of the war between the ex-spouses?
This evil force is seen not only by the people who live in this area.
I saw a shadow pass by the window. Once, and then a couple of minutes later was the second time. I wasn't the only one who saw it, but another girl saw it too.
What's that girl's name?
Yana.
Hold on a second, did you lose your father?
It'll be a year on the 17th.
Did he die the same way, suddenly?
Yes, my father died because of his heart. A blood clot broke off.
Another man from your family is dying on the grave.
It's Dad's brother, my uncle. 2 days ago was 6 months since his death.
Did he also die because of the heart?
Yes.
This is incredible. Within just a year, the girl lost 2 men from her family. Her uncle had a heart attack on his brother's grave.
I feel this girl's father and uncle were killed by the same supernatural force as the one that took the lives of Tetiana's husband and son and her neighbor's husband. But the girl lives on the opposite end of the street, and she couldn't be connected with the houses of these women. As such, the problem definitely wasn't in the gypsy woman's curse. Jana, what happened?
At some point, I felt powerful anguish, but I couldn't understand who was emanating it. When I turned around, I suddenly saw a woman. There's a man spirit behind you. You don't live, you exist. You loved him a lot, but he left. He left you unexpectedly.
This woman's name is Yulia, and she's also a widow. Her husband, Pavlo, also died abruptly because his heart stopped.
He came back home in the morning after the night shift and went to bed. At 3:45, I found him dead. It was very hard.
After her beloved husband died, the woman has been raising 2 children, a daughter, Valeria, and a son, Dimitro, all alone.
You see him often, very often. You live in a dream.
I live in a dream with him, as if we're still living together. He comes back home from work and plays with the kids. He wanted a 3rd child a lot, so in my dream, we have the 3rd child. It's like living 2 lives. One is in a dream, and the other is in reality.
Pavlo was under 40. Yulia was devastated by the man's mysterious passing. The woman only lives with one thought on her mind. Why did her children's father, who never had any problems with his health, die so suddenly?
He never complained about his heart and never had any ailments. He had medical checkups at work, and he was completely healthy.
Give me your hand. In the dream, he's trying to warn you that your son may die next. Your son sees and feels a threat. There's fear.
Dmitro confessed to his mother that, like his father did before his death, he sees a strange shadow in the house. Afraid that she could lose her son, the woman sent him to live with his grandmother.
He fears to sleep and stay here. He hears rapping on the windows, walking, and some unexplained noises, though it's all quiet in the room.
I was shocked. A spirit emerged behind almost every woman around me.
How many widows live in this street?
There were 20 of us, in almost every house.
It's impossible to even comprehend. There's a widow living in almost every house.
After another funeral, you think involuntarily who else has stayed and who is going to be next.
We want peaceful lives.
Almost all the female residents of the street have gathered around the psychics. They spent 2 hours telling the psychics about their husbands, who died abruptly.
This is impossible. A widow, a widow, a widow, a widow. Your street is flooded with tears. Almost every woman around us was a widow, and those who hadn't lost their husbands yet had buried their brothers or fathers. The evil spirit with the mutilated face hunted men only.
What should we do? Please help us.
Suddenly, Rubina Tsibulska went to the end of the street and found a glade.
My God, I hear moaning. It sounds like it's coming from the underground. It's necrotic energy, it's like a calling. I asked the locals to excavate the spot. I needed to understand where the call for help was coming from.
A skull. A skull.
Don't touch it.
Dear God.
The spirit might be highly aggressive.
We went to a safe distance to tune in and understand who that dead man whose skull we'd found was.
I had a feeling as if I were falling into a grave. Then the spirits of men began emerging around us. They were all thin and exhausted. Like zombies.
What kind of place is this?
There used to be Palermo here. They sold drugs here.
It turned out that this street used to be notorious throughout the Soviet Union. Back then, there was one of the biggest spots for the production and sale of drugs in it. This place was even called Palermo, after a famous TV show about Italian drug cartels.
The trade was thriving. Huge crowds frequented here. People came here on crutches and even rolling each other on wheelchairs.
The street's current residents began settling here in the mid-90s. Prior to it, most houses were occupied by drug dealers. Addicts from everywhere arrived here for the drugs.
They looked terrible. They were real zombies. They indeed were like living dead. They took out the bodies of dead addicts, corpses, twice a week. It happened all the time. They died everywhere.
Who sold the drugs? Why do I only see women?
The women did it.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
It turned out that all of it is terrible truth. The men were in charge of delivering the drugs, while the women made and sold them.
The women made and sold the drugs.
The people are still shocked that, for 10 years straight, the law enforcers didn't even try to close Palermo down. It turned out that the addicts' bodies weren't only found along the street, but also in the local pond, which has dried out with time, becoming a field. This is precisely where the psychics are standing right now.
How old were we? 9 or 10, probably? We ran around all the local water bodies and reeds. We saw people lying face down in the water and understood they weren't alive. I, personally, found 2 bodies.
There were plenty of them half dead. in the pond, in the ravine over there, anywhere. I'm only talking about those who were found, and how many weren't found. This dead pond, I'm certain there are lots of them in it.
So this is the lake I saw in my dream. And this is the head my grandma was talking about. The otherworldly force with the wedge in its hands appeared here. What kind of entity is it? And why is it killing men only?
Do you remember I told you about a woman crying over a man? A woman kneeled on the ground, holding a young man in her arms. He's dying in front of her. I hear her shouting that he's been killed. It happened right at this place.
Yes.
It turned out that the people remember a story of a woman who brought her drug-addicted husband here because she couldn't see his torments anymore.
She brought her husband here so he could get his drugs and feel better, and he died in her arms.
This woman understood she couldn't save her addicted husband from death. She came with him here to at least know where he died and to bury him. And the moment his heart stopped, I hear her scream. I wish you all to stay widows here and know what it means to bury the men you love.
Her words became a curse. Every woman who came to live on this street lost the men she loved.
Help us. Help us, please. Impose protection on this village.
First of all, we needed to lure the entity there, and then close it down through the women's prayers.
Jana Shulikova asked the local women to help her make the fire for the ritual, and she strictly forbade the men to approach it.
The fire must burn out completely. With it, the curse that killed the people will burn out too.
Thank you so much from all of us.
It's unbelievable what consequences the old crimes of the drug dealers have led this small village to. There is a saying that you have to pay for everything in life, and they say it for a reason. But the worst thing is that the price must be paid not only by those who did the cruel things or stayed indifferent to them. Often, perfectly innocent people pay it too. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. The most interesting stories are yet to come.